Hello, Mr. Bond. I've been expecting you.
Hi, my name is Lee. Welcome to my channel Kola Flipper. I'm a UK eBay reseller. I buy second-hand items at car boot sales and charity shops, and I flip them online for a profit. This week it's going to be an eBay to eBay flip. I've done quite well here. I've picked up something a little bit special at a pretty damn good price. I'm a self-confessed chair geek. I like nice quality furniture, and I like things that are designed that are both functional but elegant. This is a chair by a company called ICF, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about ICF later, but they retail for an awful lot. So for this particular model, you can get lots of different options of it, but this particular model is the Una Management chair. You can get them in leather, you can get them with aluminium arms. This particular one, or you can get it with a 5-star base and wheels. This particular one, 4-star base, carpet glides, and it's a self-return mechanism. So whichever way you go, when you let go, it goes back to its original seating position. It's a mesh seat, super comfortable. This, if you go on the ICF website now, and you monkey around with the chair configurator, it was £787 plus VAT. So when you weighing your extra 20% on, this is a £944 chair. I bought 2 of them through bids on eBay for £160.99. Now, it's quite a lot of money to spend still, but as I've mentioned before on my channel, I don't have time to monkey around with the lower priced flips, because typically my effort remains the same whether I'm making £3, £10, £50 or £100. So I'm starting to try and increase my average sale price, and so far this year we're just got to the start of February, and this year's sales have averaged out that my average profit so far, I don't sell a huge amount, but my average profit per item so far this year, 2021, is about £32 an item. So I'm steadily trying to increase that, and I try and make a minimum of 20. Sometimes it dips below, depends what it is, but it means that I can get a decent-ish side income, plus, as I'm a part-time reseller, but on occasion you can pick up something like this, and these things don't come up very often. If you get something like this, you can make a couple of £100 profit for 2 items. So it does involve a bit of effort, but it's one of those things where the average Joe wouldn't know who ICF are, wouldn't think to look for this sort of thing, and it just means that by increasing your knowledge, you've got more opportunities for yourself. By knowing which manufacturers are good and which ones are sought after, it'll open your eyes to more opportunities. Yes, it means I've got to clean this bloody thing. It also means that I've got to store it until it sells, or the pair of them, but it could be an awful lot of money I could make here. So backstory was I was looking for this sort of chair. I was considering getting some chairs for the house, so I look out for very specific brands on eBay just to see what comes up, and I saw these come up, and I thought, well, they're not really going to suit the house. These are more of an office type chair. They're not going to suit our particular needs, but there could be some money to be made here. You can change out the glides at the bottom of the aluminium base for wheels. Could be a computer chair for someone. With so many people working from home, an ICF chair, computer chair, that could be very, very valuable. Even Eames and ICF, Eames and other brand type copies going for 150, 180 quid as a second-hand copy chair, and this is an original, so yeah, could be very good. So I picked these up. These were, I think, it was about 7 miles, so yeah, within 10 miles of where I live. Didn't want to go too far. There were no bids on it when I had a look, and I put in a very, very cheeky basic, just over the starting price bid, and I set reminders on my phone to remind me on the day of the auction finishing. And I've never used sniping software, so I manually had to snipe it, and another alarm sort of 5 minutes before the end of the auction, and a few minutes before the end of the auction I put in a massive bid, way more than the 160 I won them for, so that if anyone thought, oh, I'll get those at 170, my bid was going to smash them down and I would still win this, because I can see there's going to be some decent profit. So yeah, if these are £940 each, brand new, and this is new, it's not a second-hand one, both of them came with the original brochures and manufacturer technical specs and everything in the little bag attached to the back. One of the reasons why they came up quite cheap, and possibly why the people haven't bothered to buy them, is because they've been stored poorly. There's some marks and bits of crud which I need to really clean out of this, so it needs a damn good scrub, and also it looks like it's probably been stored somewhere a bit damp, so the aluminium is starting to get a little bit corroded. It doesn't rust, it's aluminium, but what it does need is a damn good polish. So yes, I'll probably need to invest about an hour of my time into each chair, but they could be worth an awful lot of money. Comps wise, it's very, very difficult, because it's not quite an office chair at the minute, so I need to have a think about whether I swap out the feet for casters, include the glides with it, so that whoever buys it has the option of glides or casters, so they can use it. Again, with a proper full-on computer chair, you would usually expect a mechanism, a gas strut. This has not got the gas strut. This has got the twisting mechanism, the center return. So height adjustability is not quite as good as you would get with the computer chair. So getting comps is going to be very, very difficult. However, buying them at ballpark figure £80 each, spending an hour cleaning them, tightening them up a bit, I really should have thought I should be able to sell them for over £200 each, but the reality is I'll probably list high and see where we go. If these in brand new condition are 940 quid including that, let's see if I can push for 300, 350, put them up there. If they don't sell for a while, I really don't mind. It does sound like I'm going to be out of pocket for a little while at £160 out, but that's all with reselling money. Reselling isn't my main income. I have a day job, it pays all my bills, anything I need to, but reselling is, I don't rely on it, which means that the money that comes in, I put into a separate bank account. That covers all my reselling buying costs, taxes, all that sort of stuff, but it means that should the right opportunity come up at the right time, I can afford to buy it and not worry that I don't have enough money for the rent, food, whatever else. So I've built up a big enough pot that if I need to sit on a £160 investment for a year, it's not the end of the world. Storage space is going to be a bit of a sod, because I've been clearing stuff out to make my life a little bit easy, because I had too much stuff. So I do need to think about, I can't get too many big things, but potentially I could be turning £160 into, let's say I get £300 each. That's not a bad outing. Even if I get £200 each, I've still done well. So for me, I think that's a pretty good gamble that I'm taking there. So I mentioned this is by a company called ICF. Things to take out of this video is make sure you've got the money to get the right deal at the right time. Don't be afraid to pay up if you need to, because the rewards can be very good. But spend time learning and investing in your education. I happen to be a bit of a chair geek. I know about chairs because I like them. I've think this is an attractive, stylish chair. This is something that was designed. So if you think of, ICF used to be the licensed manufacturer for a company called Eames. Charles and Ray Eames designed a lot of the classic chairs that you've seen in films over the years. The chairs usually start around 1,300 quid, going up to around the £2,000 mark. Lounge chairs can be £6,000–7,000. ICF used to be a licensed manufacturer from the 50s until the 80s, and then in the 80s two other companies became the licensed manufacturers and distributors, and that was a company called Vitra and a company called Herman Miller. Herman Miller, I think, is an American company, even though it sounds German. Vitra is a Swiss company. So I think Vitra do provide all the Eames chairs for Europe and the Middle East, and I think Herman Miller do US and the rest of the world. ICF used to have that contract until the 80s, and then I believe Vitra got it. So if you ever find an ICF made Eames chair, they're actually very, very rare. One problem they did go through is after they lost the contract, they continued to make them, make the Eames soft pad chair and that sort of stuff. And it ended up, I think, in the Italian courts that they ended up losing and were not allowed to make them anymore, which is quite right because it wasn't their design. So I think companies to look out for: ICF, chairs made by ICF are very good. This isn't an Eames design, this is an ICF design chair. But keep an eye, if you see ICF on a chair, you see Eames on a chair. If it's Eames, it needs to be either made by ICF, Vitra or Herman Miller. If it doesn't have one of those on there, have concerns. Little telltale signs about quality chairs: cast aluminium base, usually 4 feet if it's going to be just a normal standing chair on glides, or if it's on wheels it will usually have 5 stars to give it more stability. Cheaper ones are usually bolted together. They'll have like a cheap stainless steel cap that goes over the top. If it's cast aluminium, you know it's quality. You'll have ones that have got looped arms. Again, if they are usually some sort of hollow pressed steel and bolted on with cheap looking or inelegant, if it's an inelegant looking way of bolting it on, the odds are it's cheap. What you want is something with finesse. So for example, there's a little ICF tag. If you look at this is again solid aluminium. This is not cheap hollow rear strut. These are all solid aluminium again, where the copies will be a hollow tube essentially, and then arms will be bolted on. If it looks cheap and inelegant, the odds are it is a copy or a reproduction. Again, this base, it's all solid, so it, as well as looking for recognising brands, get used to or learn to spot quality. This, even if it didn't have ICF on it, if I'd have seen this at, for example, a car boot sale, wherever, I can spot that as a quality item just because it's made of cast aluminium and the finish. So yeah, another good lesson to learn is learning to spot quality items, even if you don't recognise the brand. If you can spot a quality item, you're not always going to know what the final sale price is going to be, but it gives you an indication that it's worth looking at and researching. So they're my tips. Learn about stuff in depth. I happen to know about chairs because I just like the way they look. I found them interesting, and I think they're comfortable, or they can be, and it just got me interested, and I learnt about chairs because if I was going to invest a lot of money into a chair for myself, I want to know the ins and outs of it. And I'm not saying just look for chairs, I'm saying anything that you think could have value in it, learn about it, read about it, go and get, actually I've got a book right here. That is the design book, and it's basically a couple of 100 pages, 500 pages of classic designed items. And these are sometimes the sorts of things that you will see at a car boot sale or a charity shop. I don't sit at home reading that like a nerd trying to figure out, ooh, what am I going to find? I flick through it. If I find something interesting or beautiful, I think, right, I'm going to learn about it, or I'll read about it. I have a good memory, so once I've read something, names will stick in my mind, a shape of something will stick in my mind, and you may not be the same. It might be harder work, but things like this, again, you can pick these up at charity shops. This sort of design book, a couple of quid. You can probably get it on eBay for a couple of quid delivered, not too much. Have a flick through, familiarise yourself with manufacturers and designers of quality items, and if you give, by doing that, you give yourself a better chance of picking up quality items that other people who haven't spent the time being a nerd, you've got more of a chance of picking up the items and doing better out of it. It's the same with clothing. I sell an awful lot of clothing. If you're not sure about clothing, you don't know the brands, go and buy yourself Vogue, buy yourself GQ. Go into eBay and search shoes, sold items, put them in price order of highest to lowest, flick through what shoes are selling for £400, what shoes are selling for £200. Have a flick through, write them down, build up a knowledge base that you can use to your example, your advantage. And okay, if you don't have a brilliant memory, write them down on a bit of paper, pop them into your phone. That way that if you're out and about and you spot something, you can check it on your own list. So it's about using the options that the opportunities to your best advantage. And we've all got mobile phones, we've all got access to the internet to buy stuff relatively cheaply and learn. So there aren't any excuses. If you want to make more money, you can do. Just got to put the legwork in. Use your brain and you can do quite well. Yes, these could take months to sell, but if I can make a couple of £100 on them, I think I've done quite well there. So I think that's it for the moment. So hopefully this is a relatively short and sweet video. If you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I try to keep my videos informative, even though I'm generally quite a miserable git. So if you've liked it, please give this a thumbs up. If you've got anything to say or ask, pop a comment in there. So thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Wang a comment in there, and maybe even share this. So hopefully I'll have something new and interesting to show you shortly. But otherwise, see you later. Well.
I sounded like this. Hello, hello. I tried to get you the voice. Hello. Hello. Hello.